These are the top 6 Forex cheat codes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Omar JJ, and I welcome you again to yet another awesome video where I'll be sharing with you guys the top 6 trading cheat codes. These are the cheat codes that you need in order for you to be a successful multi-millionaire trading Forex. I've used them, I've tested them, and they are working for me, definitely. So I'm about to share them with you. Let's meet on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen a lot of people wanting their breakthrough from Forex, but they have not yet found it. But I'm here today to present to you the top 6 cheat codes that will make your Forex journey to be much more easier. You can go from literally 0 to hero when you apply all these top 6 cheat codes I'm about to share with you right now. So the very first one is the very interesting one, which most of the people never ever pay attention to, but I'll show you that it's very much important for you guys to pay attention to this one. It's called the sessions. So what you have to do is simple. You must go to your trading view, and then you go to your indicators, and then from there you search for the indicator that is called sessions. Search for the indicator that is called sessions. So as you can see, when you search that, there's so many indicators that pop up. You must only choose the Laxiago indicator. The Laxiago indicator is the one that you must pick up from all of these, and then you must do this Laxiago. You pick it up, then you follow, and there we go. The Laxiago is the one that will help you so much when you are trading using the sessions. So it will help you know at what time is that session is going to be taking place, and at what time is whatever that you are looking for going to be starting. So for example, as we all know, we have 4 main sessions. We have 4 main trading sessions. That is what? That is your New York session, that is your London session, that is your Tokyo session, as well as your what else? Your Sydney session. So those are the 4 main indicators that you have. So this indicator gets to show you which one is a London session and which one is a Tokyo session, which one is a Sydney session, which one is a New York session. What I like about it, it also has the dates there at the top, so you get to know on this particular day we had a London session starting from what time. It depends basically on your time frame. So as right now, as you can see, the time is what? It's 13:44 in South African time. We're still within the London session. So as you will know that every time at 1/2, that's where you're gonna start with the New York session. From 3:30 and whatsoever, that's where you're gonna start with the London session. So this has been very helpful. I've been looking out at it for the longest time, and it has helped because you get to know which session is the one that you must be trading on. As you know, the most 2 volatile sessions that we always use is what? Is the New York session as well as the London session. When you get to trade in between both of those sessions, that's where you get to see, and that's where you get to spot most of the nicest entries ever. As you guys would know that in most of the areas, in most of the time, your New York session is the one that is very much volatile, as well as your London session. Like for example here, let's make an example. As you can see in the open of the, let me just make an example with a drawing. In the open of the London session, that's where we started having the sells, and that's where we also had the sells continuing on the what? On the New York session. On the New York session. So let's highlight mostly the London and the New York session, and then at the same time let's look at what happens most of the time during the Asian sessions, the Tokyo as well as the Sydney session. In most of the time there is no much of a movement, but in most of the time we are always like consolidating, moving the same structure. But look at when there is New York, we're always gonna have that small movement or a big chunk of a movement. But in most of the time, whenever we are having those two, the Tokyo and the Sydney session, that's where we don't have much of the movement. So this trend is continuing. As you can see, the very same trend is continuing even when we date back even onto the future, I mean on the previous happenings, or rather on what has transpired before, or rather on your left hand side. It's the very same trend that we get to see being portrayed every time when there is London and New York. We see most of the movements, but every time when there is Sydney as well as the Tokyo session, that's where we do not get that much of big movements. So this is very much important for you guys to know of. So this is hack number one. This is a cheat code that you guys must take note of every time when you're trading. This is check number one. This is number one. So number two, it's this one. I think most of you guys have always been using this, and I also last week when I did my analysis, I also touched base on it. It's called the head and shoulders, guys. If you understand your head and shoulders very well, it's gonna be much more easier for you to know what is it that you are doing. So when you put this together with the head and shoulders, let me show you how it will look like. When you put this together with the head and shoulders, what's important is for you to integrate all these things all together in order for you to understand way better what is it that is happening. As you will know that if you had your sessions indicator on, and then you had your markings of your head and shoulders, you would know as to which session am I gonna be now entering, which session am I gonna be now looking for my buys to actually come into play. So this was gonna be highly important for you to actually take note of. So let's just try to remove this indicator. Remove indicator, and then after we've removed indicator, go back to it. So now we will remove the indicator because we want to focus on what I told you. So guys, about the head and shoulders, there's something very much interesting I want to show you when it comes to the head and shoulders. This is the hack that I'm also gonna give you guys right now. I gave you a hack last week. I'm gonna give you another hack, another cheat code that you guys must take note of. So it's very much important that you enter. I heard that it's important according to the books, the textbook, that you must enter on your neckline, but it's not always the case that you must enter on a neckline. You are missing out on the juice. That's what I can tell you. You are missing out on the juice. Imagine if you were to say, you see, this is my neckline. If you were to say you only have to enter here, you are missing out on all the juice that you could have got instead of entering somewhere here on your left shoulder. Look at this. Let's calculate these pips here. Let's try to calculate the pips. So let me look for the ruler. So for example, if you would have entered here, you would have eaten all those pips. You would have eaten all those pips, about 129 pips that you would have eaten. About 129 pips you would have eaten. But also, if you entered here, these are the pips that you would have eaten. About, let me see, about 126 pips you would have eaten. But if you would have entered from the top to the bottom, let's see how many pips you would have eaten. About 300, about 200 and I don't know. Let me see. Let me try to. I don't know why this thing is here. Let me try to shift it. So let's see how many pips you would have eaten when you taken from the top. About 300 pips that you would have got when you entered from the top. So one thing that I wanna educate and teach you guys with this, with the head and shoulders, is this. So it's important that you literally mark like this. You mark your horizontal line like this. You mark your horizontal line like this, and you know already this is your left shoulder. This is your left shoulder here. It's your left shoulder. This is your left shoulder over there, and then obviously on the other side it's your left. It's your right shoulder right here. It's your right shoulder. So instead of entering on a neckline, enter there at the top, exactly where your right shoulder starts, in order for you to eat all the juice, in order for you to eat all the juice, other than enter. And also your entry is more safer that way. Your entry is more safer that way. If you entered on your right shoulder for you to eat all your juice, it's much more safer than entering on a neckline and having only that piece, which is very small, because you would have anticipated that you were gonna fall and go even way deeper than that. So one thing I will advise you to do is that, other than entering at the neckline, rather enter where the right shoulder begins. So that is hack number 2 that I wanted to give you guys. And number 3, this is very much interesting and very much nice. I think when I began trading, I was using this a lot of times. And it had never failed me. And I'm seeing it even when I do this. It's called measuring the impulse move. So when you measure the impulse move, as you guys know, I don't know if all of you know what an impulse move is, but it's just those big chunk movements from the market, those boom. And then these are your corrections, booms. Those big chunks movements from the markets, they are called impulsive moves. So, for example, how do I get to measure that? For example, let's say on this weekly time frame, I get to just draw my trend line like this and say, this is my impulse move. And then I copy that impulse move, I clone it, and then probably I also draw it here again. It's another impulsive move. I copy it, I clone it again, I copy it, and then I'm expecting the very same to also take place also there. So it also took place somewhere here. You see, when I do this, mind you, this is just a weekly time frame. You can do the very same thing on the smaller time frames. You see, they are very much equal. You have an idea that in the future, when I move, I might likely move those peeps going up. I might likely move those peeps or even more going up. So let me clear it up and show you from a smallest time frame, or let me just say 2-hour time frame, and see if the very same thing applies there as well. So I'm just gonna use the cells on this one. You see, I'll say from here to here, I mark it, and then I clone it. The corrections, I mark it, I clone it. You see, for example, you see, definitely there is these movements. I mark it, I clone it, I copy it. So I'll probably be looking for this thing to sell for that long. As you can see, I now have this beautiful trend over there. This is another cheat code, guys, a very interesting one that I used to use this cheat code a lot, and it used to give me a lot of returns. As you can see, this is very much clean. Also, when you see this is very much clean, you can calculate the number of pips you got from here to here. You calculate them as well. Here they're normally equally distributed. That's just basically how it is. This doesn't need you to be a top class technical analysis, but it is as simple as it's just like that. It is just as simple as like that, and I'm expecting it to actually sell until it gets further down there. So that is the third one. You measure the impulse moves. So the other one, which a lot of guys do not know, is that, guys, you can trade using looking for my okay, got it. The other one that most of the guys do not know is that you can trade using a trading view. Guys, have you ever not seen the stress of always have to now analyze on your trading view and keep some certain trades in your mind, and then have to enter using your phone? Normally, I wouldn't lie and say it's nice to analyze on your phone using trading view. It's not nice. You can't see the full entire thing. I know others afford to buy the tablets. They can simply just move around with those. I know it's much more easier that way, but not everyone affords that, and not everyone can always be having their tablets around. It's much more easier and much more nicer to actually have your smartphone more around when you are actually trading. So there is an option that you guys can do in order for you to just know that you enter from trading view. You do not need to go to your MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. You can simply do that by just signing up with the brokers that are already available on trading view and trading with those brokers. There's so many brokers that are available on trading view. I do not know how to access it, but let me try to do so by pushing this up. Let's see if we cannot get some brokers, but there's so many brokers that are available on trading view which you can trade with. I think you guys have seen them. I just do not know how to access it. By trading with brokers that are already on trading view, it saves you time. It actually helps you with entering at that particular price that you are seeing at that time and moment. You don't have to now stress about moving from one platform to another. Everything is integrated amongst the same platform. So that is one of the advantages of trading with trading view in most of the time that I've seen a lot of guys using. Like I've seen brokers like your FBS, your what brokers, different ones which are already available under trading view. So yeah, so that's another hack that, oh, there he is. You go to brokers and then you get to sign up with any of these. You see your IC markets. I use IC markets. I can literally add my account from here. You see, these are particular brokers that are available that you can easily use in your disposal, that are already there on a trading view. That's another way that you can use in order for you to not waste your time and in order for you to enter exactly the same thing that you're looking at. Because in most of the time, the prices at trading view are literally not the same as the prices that you're gonna find sometimes at your MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. So to have that being incorporated there and to have it being already there, it's at your best advantage. You can literally use it very well. You can literally easily scalp your trades, enter, exit by just looking at your trading view. Look at this and how beautiful it is right now. Look at this and how beautiful it is right now. You can literally continue with scalping your trades and yeah, use trading view to enter all of your trades. So another cheat code that most of the guys do not pay attention of, which is also very much important, which is now cheat code number what I've already explained, that we have the trading sessions, which is the trading indicators. That is number one. Number two, I also told you the importance of using head and shoulders and entering at the beginning of your right shoulder. I've told you about the importance of measuring your impulse moves. I've also told you about the importance of scalping using a trading view. It's very much important. The other thing that is there as number 5 is actually generalizing your trades. Guys, generalizing your trades will never ever betray you. When you generalize your trades, you know exactly what happens. Like, for example, you remember when I told you about my head and shoulders not becoming the way that I wanted it to be? You remember when I told you about that? You can check my previous video where I explain about what I saw happening on this head and shoulders. This specifically, this head and shoulders. I talked about this. I talked about this on that video. If I had not generalized my trades, I wouldn't have seen the mistake that I did. of believing that this thing was gonna fall and come here instantly. The time when I drew my trading, my head and shoulders, because I believe that on a neckline it's definitely gonna start selling. However, it didn't do that. It went astray. This is what ended up happening. And now I'm looking for it to actually do that. So when you generalize your trades, you actually get to know your mistakes. You get to know what went wrong. You get to know where to improve. You get to know how to be a better trader. Because the more you fall, the more you get to know that, on this trap, I'm not gonna fall again. So generalizing your trades, one of the biggest cheat codes of which most of the traders do not take note of, but it's one of the most essential and one of the most crucial points, one of the most focal points which all of us as traders we must have. You must have your book that you always write whatever that happens. You must write whether it's nice, you must write whether it's not nice, because sometimes what is always working doesn't always work. So because there's no strategy in Forex that is definitely 100%, so you must always take note of that. You must always generalize your trades. In that way, you also gonna improve in your trading for the better. So the last one, of which I've seen a lot of guys using, and I'm also using it in most of the time, it's called the Fibonacci retracements. Guys, you must study the Fibonacci retracements. We can do a whole course on Fibonacci retracements. I think on the previous course that we last did, there is a whole segment where I teach you guys on how to trade Fibonacci. I'm just gonna try to look for those clips for next time. When I do come here on YouTube, I'm gonna share that with you guys for free. So Fibonacci retracements, you basically do what? You put your Fibonacci retracements, and then you make sure that you firstly do not just put your Fibonacci retracements. That's not how it goes. You firstly have to remove all your drawings. You must know how to analyze first before you can use Fibonacci retracements. The first thing that is important for you to firstly identify your key levels. You must identify your key levels, your so-called supports and resistance structures. When you have your horizontal lines, like, let me make an example. You don't just draw your horizontal lines, but you look at your key levels within the market. Then you draw your horizontal lines. You know, at this particular point I was selling, at this particular point I was buying. So for example, let's use this zoomed portion over here. Let's say this is my main support, this is my main resistance. When I now introduce my Fibonacci retracement, I'm just gonna start from the lowest or the highest. It depends on where you want to start. For example, me right now, I just want to start from the lowest point until the highest point that is available in my playground at that time and moment. And then when I do that, you'll see that most of the time your already marked key levels, they actually are the Fibonacci retracements. They are mostly the retracements. They form part of the extension levels in your graph or at the market at that time. So for example, as you can see, there at the top I said it's my resistance. As you can see, the market was turning there. There at the bottom I said it's my support. The market turned there. The 0.5, which is a very important key level, as you can see, we actually started buying there. And then now we are somewhere in between those two key levels, and we exactly retraced also there. We're gonna be retracing, looking for what probably a third touch. Then we're gonna start retracing also here. We're gonna retrace here, but we are moving downwards. So it's very much important for you guys to learn how to analyze using the Fibonacci retracements. I don't want to explain too much on YouTube, guys. I don't want to explain too much on YouTube, even though I do give you guys these things. I don't want to be too much in depth on it because I don't have a free course that is on YouTube. I'm just educating you guys. I know you guys are smart. You guys gonna be able to connect the dots and get to understand really the whole juice. But I also offer the one-on-one mentorship where I can give you guys all these things more in depth. So if you're interested on my one-on-one mentorship, please do not hesitate. Drop me an email, drop me a direct message on Telegram. I'll reply, and then I'll offer you the one-on-one mentorship. I don't have any course. I don't sell no courses, but I do give back through selling one-on-one mentorships, because every time when we do combine the whole course together, you're always going to see it being leaked. You're always going to see it under platforms being given, people scamming one another saying this is your course. I prefer the interaction like this with my students, where I give you guys live everything using the current market times, using the current updated data, not just recording a chunk of work and saying it's going to apply for the next 100 years. No, market conditions do change every time, so they need you to apply current existing times and current existing tricks to actually get to what? To jump over those hurdles. So guys, that is it from my side. I wanted to show you guys the cheat codes. Those were the cheat codes. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, make sure, man, you like and subscribe, you comment, then you share this with all your friends. Other than that, it's the Omari JJ, the trader from the villages. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, I am signing out.